Hey, what's up, boys? This is Contango coming at you from Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. And today we are doing Germany round 3 of my game against Corporal Clegg and Piloto. This is 1940 Global Alternate Universe. So let's start off with just a flyby of what the map looks like at the beginning of turn 3, and then we'll get started. So Germany is up. You can see I've got some arrows laid out, which we'll get to in a minute. The US is going to be at war this turn, so we're going to finally find out where they're going. You can see the Japanese coming down towards this French city. Italians came over here towards the UK. Of course, the UK is going to get to go first, so we'll see what they do. Russians with a lot of stuff up north. Ships back here. Chinese will also be at war this turn, or they can declare war this turn. Japanese have been keeping them out as long as they can while they're going after France and the UK over here. So that's that. So let's get started with the turn. I'm just going to pause it here for a second and get my camera set up. Okay, and so also before we get started, I'll just give you a quick look at the board. No change recently in the number of cities. You can see the income differential there. So yeah, this is the start of round 3. So before we get started, I think Piloto on this last turn, as France missed a couple of convoy zones. For France, there was one up here in Zone 23. There's one French territory left there, originally a pro-Allied territory that France owns with a sub there, and then there's another convoy zone down here in 94. So possibly a couple of IPCs to lose for France there that I'm going to roll now. So the Zone 23 had a sub in it, so that's going to be 2 dice for possibly convoying 1 IPC. I got a 3, so but the maximum he can lose is 1 IPC, so he'll lose 1, and then for Zone 94, again, it's just 1 IPC, but there are 2 subs and what is it, a cruiser and a battleship there, so that's 4 dice total. So again, we got 3s, but there's only 1 IPC to take there. So that is going to leave France with, so they're going to lose this one and this one. So I think France should have 16 IPCs on hand after all that. And we did adjust some things on France. Piloto had spent more money than he'd actually had, so but I think that takes care of that. So okay, so to follow up on that, this is the purchases for Germany. They had 80 IPCs, so that is 3 tanks and 3 artillery for 30 IPCs, 4 mechanized infantry for 16 IPCs, and 6 infantry, 1 mechanized infantry, 3 artillery for 34, so totaling up to 80. Okay. Sorry, let me pause it for 1 second here. Okay, combat moves. So first things first, let's start with UK 5. I'm, for now, just going to put 1 tank in there to take that territory. It's a walk-on. If you're new to G40 Alt Universe, you can walk between these 2 sea zones. It's a straight, so you can walk across to the UK area there. So that's move number 1. Then in PA4, we are going to bring in 3 infantry from G7. So just 3 infantry, the rest are going to stay there. From F5, I think it is, we're going to have 1 bomber. It's going to go 1, 2, and have 4 movement remaining. Then from G4, we're going to have 2 tactical bombers. Come 1, 2. So they will have 2 movement remaining. There's going to be a fighter left in G4. It's not moving on the combat move. Then from G5, we've got 2 tactical bombers and 1 fighter. And they are moving 2. So off the airbase, they'll have 3 movement left. Like so. Okay, next. Move this back a little bit here. So we've got from PX6, we've got 7 infantry going into PA10. From F5 again, we've got the other bomber is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and have one movement remaining. Then we're going to have from I5, one of these fighters is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 into that fight as well. So he'll also have 1 movement remaining. Then over here into PA8, we're going to have 1 infantry go and 1 infantry into UK13. So those will be walk-ons. I'm going to put this AA gun with the infantry right now so I don't forget. Hope that's okay with you. So it's going to go in on the non-combat move, but since it's a walk-in, it doesn't really make a big difference. Then this mechanized infantry from G21 is going to go through F6 to UK14, and it's going to be joined by the tactical bomber and the fighter from PA9. So both of them will have 2 movement left. And I think that's it. Let me just pause and check I didn't miss anything. Okay, so that's it for combat moves. So let's go ahead and start with this UK14 battle. All right, so we are going to have 1 mechanized infantry rolling at 1. Then we have a fighter and a tactical bomber. And we got a hit. Suppose we could have rolled the British at the same time, but so 1 defender for the British, and they miss. So that's good news for us. So get rid of this British unit to the graveyard. Okay, so let's go ahead with PA9 next. Is it 9? No, it's 10. Okay, so we have 7 infantry, 1 fighter, and 1 bomber. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 at 1, a blue and a red. And we got 2 hits, so there'll be 1 defender remaining. So 3 greens and no hits. So we still have all the initial units remaining for the Germans. And no hits. So the defenders and miss. Okay, so still all the original German units. Hope you can see that. Okay, so we got 3 hits. We only needed 1. We'll roll for the defending infantry again. And missed. So not great rolls for the pro-allies. So Germany still has all of its units there. So that is good. All right, so then we'll do Pro Allied 4. All right, sorry, just pause it there. I wasn't sure if you could hear my sump pump running or not, but okay, so PA4, we've got 3 infantry, we've got 1 fighter, 4 tactical bombers, and a bomber. So we're going to have 2 planes rolling at 4 and 4 planes rolling at 3, if that makes sense. Yeah, because the fighter and 3 tactical bombers will be not paired. Okay, so 3 infantry, 4 planes rolling at 3, and 2 planes rolling at 4. Okay, so we got 4 hits, more than enough. Now the defenders, 3 infantry, and 1 hit. So the Germans are going to lose 1. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this before or not, but the Germans are not declaring war on Russia this turn. Even though the Russians will be able to declare war on them, they don't have to. And I mean, taking out this territory allows the Russians to get in the war, but they're going to be able to get into the war on turn 3 anyways. So that's why we're doing that. Okay, so I think that's all of our rolling battles, if I'm not mistaken. Just let me check here for a minute. Yeah, okay, so we're good. So let's take care of the income right now. So this is going to be 1, 2, can you see this? Yes, 3 onto Germany from no one because it's pro-allies. Okay, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then up here, 6, 7. So 7 off of the UK onto Germany. So let's take care of that. So I have the UK at 33. I have Germany at 70. So hopefully that's what you guys have as well. Okay, so on to non-combat moves. And actually, before we forget, let's go ahead with these ships down here. So all these 4 ships in C-Zone 95 are heading back this way to C-Zone 98. Including the transport. Here in I-5 we have 1 fighter remaining. You know what, let's clean up some stuff up north first, and then we'll take care of that. I think it's going to be easier this way. Just trying to decide how I'm going to get in there. Okay, so we've got from F3, 10 infantry moving across, 3 artillery into UK5. Sorry, so that was 10 infantry, 3 artillery into UK5. Already had 1 tank there. Then 2 mechanized infantry from F3 are going across. From F5, we have all of the tanks, which is 6. We're going to go through F3 into UK5. And then all of the mechanized infantry, which is 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. Are going to go across as well. Now, all of these ships in C-Zone 24, oh, by the way, this battleship should be repaired this turn. That should happen at the beginning of the turn. But all these ships are coming down here as well. And this transport is going to bring with it 1 infantry and 1 artillery from G5. We're borrowing some ANZAC artillery again, at least for right now. Okay, so I think that takes care of everything going into UK5. I will clean that up later. Into F3, from F2 we have 5 infantry, 2 AA guns, and 3 artillery. It's about to get really crowded in here. From F5 we have 6 infantry and 2 artillery joining the F3 party. And then from this independent neutral number 2 we have 7 infantry. Where are these going to go? 1 artillery and 1 AA gun. So we'll clean that up here shortly. Okay, so in G7, sorry, let's take care of this first. Okay, from G5, 1 infantry is going to go into G6. From G4, the fighter that didn't do anything is going to go 1, 2, 3 into G2. Join the 6 infantry up there. It's a little hard to see. From G5, we're going to have 1 infantry and 1 artillery go into G7. And then 1 AA gun is going to backtrack and go into G5 from G7. For our planes, you can see those right. Okay, so the 2 tactical bombers with 2 movement remaining from PA4 are going to go 1, 2 into G5. The bomber with 4 remaining is going to come down to G15. And then the fighter and 2 tactical bombers with 3 remaining are going to go 1, 2, 3 into F3. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put those. I'll put them right here for now until I clean that up. Okay. Now these 2 planes, the fighter and the bomber, only had 1 movement left, so they're going to have to go into PX6. So they don't have a choice. We have another fighter down here in I5 that is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into F5. The fighter and the tactical bomber that were in UK14 are going to come up to whichever pro-allied this is, PA9. Where they started. This 1 mechanized infantry from G21 is going to join them. This 1 fighter that didn't do anything in PA9 is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 into G11. The 4 mechanized infantry in G5 are going to F5. And I think that might be it. Okay, let me just check and I'll at the same time clean things up a little bit here. Okay, so we cleaned things up a little bit. A little less crowded now. So let's do the purchases. So we've got 3 artillery going into F3, is it? Not Paris, we'll call it. So 3 artillery going in there, 3 tanks being built here in F5. We've got 4 mechanized infantry being built in G5, where the bomber is. And the remaining 10 units, that's 6 infantry, 3 artillery, and 1 mechanized infantry, are all going into, no, I think I called this G5, but it's a G15 when I was talking about the mechanized infantry. Sorry about that. So in actual G5, we've got the 6 infantry, 3 artillery, and 1 mechanized infantry. Okay, so that should be it for purchases. So I don't see any convoys right now. I need to do the income. Yeah, I don't think there's any convoys for Germany right now. This is still owned by the UK. So, okay, so let me collect up the income here. Okay, so just to reiterate, I have Germany at 70. You can see the rest here, but the UK was the biggest hit this turn, so they are down at 33. And for the record, I have the French at 16. I have the Chinese on here twice because the Chinese, when they're not at war, have their income cut in half. So they'll be up at 23 this turn once we get around to China. So Germany is pulling in 70 IPCs plus 5. They still have this national objective. If I can pick it up, for not being at war with the Soviet Union. Like I said, we didn't declare war on the Soviet Union this turn, even though they will be able to declare war on us, which I expect to happen. But anyway, so we're pulling in a total of 75 IPCs. So let's do a flyby of the map, and then I'll call out the units, and then we'll call it a day. So just go over the map one more time. Okay. So to start with, we have in C Zone 98, that's a battleship, a cruiser, a destroyer, and a transport. Up here in C Zone 23, we have a battleship, a carrier, a cruiser, a destroyer, a sub, and a transport. G20, we have 2 infantry, 1 AA gun. UK 14, we have 1 mechanized infantry. UK 13, 1 infantry. In PA 8, we have 1 infantry and 1 AA gun. Oops. In PA 9, we have 3 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 mechanized infantry, 1 tactical bomber, and 1 fighter. In I5, we have an infantry and an AA gun. In PA 10, we have 7 infantry. In PX 6, we have a bomber and a fighter. In G15, we have a bomber and 4 mechanized infantry. In G11, there's 1 fighter. In F5, we have 3 tanks, 4 mechanized infantry, and a fighter. In not Paris, we have 18 infantry, 9 artillery, 3 AA guns, 2 tactical bombers, and 1 fighter. In UK 5, we have 11 infantry, 4 artillery, 7 tanks, 10 mechanized infantry. In PA4, we have 2 infantry. In G7, we have 1 AA gun, 11 infantry, 5 artillery. In G5, we have 4 artillery, 1 mechanized infantry, that is 10 infantry, 2 tactical bombers. And then up north in G2, we have 6 infantry and 1 fighter. And in G6, we have 1 infantry hiding. So I think that's it. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Let me just pause it and make sure that I didn't. Okay, yeah, so I think that's it. So lastly, I just want to say this is probably going to be the last video before Christmas. We're planning to do a Christmas truce, so I wouldn't expect any videos from myself or Corporal Clegg or Piloto probably till around New Year's or just after. So we'll see how things go, but this may be the last video for a while. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Feliz Navidad to Piloto and any of his Spanish followers who may happen to be watching. And yeah, so talk to you guys later.